Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 90 Degree Show, hosted by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. And here's your host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
Welcome to the 90 Degree Show. I'm your host, Joe Beard, and happy to be of service for you tonight. Let's see, today is October 18th, 2015, 5 o'clock on the West Coast and 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Excuse me. We appreciate all those listening in live or in podcast form, whether through Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, our website, Twitter, Facebook, or wherever you are on the interwebs this evening. At the end of the broadcast, if you decide you like the show, then we appreciate a donation to the network, if you feel so in your heart, of course. Just simply go to themarchingpodcast.com and click on the donate button to help improve the show and help build our scholarship fund. All right, thanks for listening tonight. We are at week 7 of the broadcast year, and we welcome you again to the 2015 season. If this is your first time listening, welcome. We're happy to talk to another year of our beloved schools and welcome you. This year, we opened it up. We have a round table of experts, but this year, it's open to the folks tonight. Rashad and Christy are both busy this evening. So, they told me, Joe, we go ahead and give it to you. I'm sure you got it. And I said, that's all good. But again, if any of you are listening tonight and want to call in and take their place, if you will, go ahead and do so at the number you see on the screen tonight, 718-664-6025. Also, welcome to enter our chat room there. If you have a Blog Talk Radio account, you can log into our chat room and leave your comments there. All right. So as we get into the show, we're really excited about week 7. A couple of things happened this week, and just to spread a little awareness, as we will, and some things that happen, and want to give some support and shout out, and also talked a little bit about. I saw an article this week. Shout out to my man Terrell Stringer out there at Berkeley High School, or McClure Southwest, or whatever it is. I'm sorry, I can't remember, but Berkeley High School there in St. Louis. He sent out an article about what some high school band directors make in the state of Texas. So, I wanted to kind of throw that out there just in case anyone was listening. And any of the information is that's available to you. If you guys want to post something or let me know, shoot it in tonight. Also, Savannah State, as you know, I think we talked about it last week, had a accident, if you will, on their campus. And unfortunately, a lot of their band equipment, a lot of things were damaged. So we will give the link out. I think my man Warren Shaw, Brother Shaw, out there at Clark, Atlanta, shared a link on Facebook where people can go, one of the GoFundMe joints, and you can go and support and give money and help out any way you can. Okay, so tonight we have week 7. It was some really good matchups this week, if you will. There is. Tonight's show was brought to you by Pranks Tao on Periscope and Brian M. Lyles on Periscope. So shout out to Pranks Tao. Shout out to Brian Lyles. I didn't know Pranks Tao, whoever she is, or I think it's a girl. I didn't know. I think she went to Jackson State, or I saw a whole bunch of Jackson State up in there. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So shout out to her. And then Brian Lyles, I think he's related somehow. Again, if someone knows the information, come in and school me, break me down, and let me know. But I think he's connected to Stillman College somehow. but someone on the comments was asking him if he wrote some of the music. So I don't know if he's one of the assistant directors or directors, but was excited to see Stillman this year on Periscope. Also brought to you by, of course, one of our beloved sponsors, the Edge One Productions. And, of course, when we talk about the S, their homecoming was weekend, so we'll go over that. And Zimbalistic. I think Ricky Garza is his name. And our man Luis Suarez, who we also chopped it up with back in the day. They taped good old Prairie View and Southern, which was like, man, I definitely want you guys to tune in about that matchup. So tonight I actually saw, and again, if you're welcome to call in and help out or, school the world and let you know what you saw this weekend. But what I saw was Jackson State, Alabama A&M, of course, the halftime and the fifth. I saw Tuskegee and Stillman, the fifth quarter. And I saw SU's homecoming with Prairie View A&M. I saw the fifth and the halftime show. And then NCAT, shout out to Brother Key out there at Central State. It said NCAT the other day. I was like, dude, that's tight. I'll start using that with North Carolina A&T, but NCAT and Bethune-Cookman. I saw the fifth, how short it was indeed. So I saw that. So, I was just going to throw that out there and see how, everyone responds. Again, if you can, if you want to, hit me up. I know some folks said, they may call in, but again, this is your night. The panelists, the experts was busy tonight, y'all. So, we'll fly a dolo like Vince Scully, and that's all good, like Method Man. You know what I'm saying? The state, So we'll do that. Let's go to our beloved sponsors and get rid of this first commercial break. Again, if you're listening live and have a Blog Talk Radio account, you can log into the chat room and leave your comments there. Last and definitely not least, check out themarchingpodcast.com. Email the show, marchingpodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet us at marchingpodcast or follow our blog 4.themarchingpodcast.com. Let's take the time to hear from our sponsors tonight. Tonight's show is brought to you by the Edge One Productions and HBCUbands.com. Let's take the time to hear from them now.
Hey, this is Danielle Deshaun Kemp, owner and founder of Quake Brewing Company out of Anchorage, Alaska. And you're listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
Having an anniversary party, birthday party, or better yet, you're about to marry that special someone? Liquid Effects Photography is the perfect choice to immortalize all your most special moments. With 10 years of dependable professional service that can deliver from the conventional to the best in cutting-edge technology and creativity. Come experience the uniqueness of Liquid Effects Photography. We serve the entire upper Midwest and will travel further upon request. Come check us out at liquideffects.com. That's LIQUIDEFFEX.com. Or call us at 773-454-5556. That's 773-454-5556.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Need to write music and drill? Get it on the field. Outfit your band. Keep your administrator happy and still have a life. Encountering drama in the process, ain't nobody got time for that. Let Block Band Music assist you with musical arrangements and drills to fit your band, and also the equipment, gear, and accessories to keep the visuals, music, and marching on point. Contact blockbandmusic@gmail.com and see how this worldwide minority-owned business can uplift your band.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is DeAnthony Smullen, proud alum at the school where everybody is somebody, Grambling State University, and you're listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
All right, we're back. Welcome. Coming back to the sounds of that Curtis Mayfield with Alabama A&M. The hashtag MMW. I didn't know what that was, folks. Was MMW and all over the place. What is it? Shout out to Mario Warren. Thank you for letting me know so that I would be cool on the show today, so I would know what that was. Didn't know MMW, but, you know, we've been giving them praise on the show because they've been on the come up the last couple of years. 718-664-6025. You're on the 90 Degree Show here. We usually give the floor to Christy and Rashad to do their thing. But again, tonight, just to recap, I saw Tuskegee and Stillman. Shout out to Brother John Leonard. I think we gave him a round of applause. I think we did, but give it to him again. I met Brother Leonard again on this very show, talking on this same mic, looking here at the computer as I am. He called in on Chopping It Up with Christy Walker, you know, one of my favorite interviews. And, of course, you know, I always ask folks, you know, memorable experiences marching in the band. He actually called in and was, because everybody's got a fam story. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got a fam story or maybe a Southern story. I mean, and, of course, like, you know, if you're on the East Coast, maybe want like a Norfolk story or something like that. But a lot of folks got fam stories. And, of course, Christy had one. I had one. He was there marching at both. So that was like, legendary to me. Like, so I was like, dude. So, been a good contact with him. Also, remember, too, he was doing just self-promotion. He was just a regular musician out there in the streets. And now he's the head band director. So that's why I gave him applause there at Tuskegee. I feel good because, you know, I'm making connections with, you know, band directors. A lot of them are assistants or whatnot. But now John is the head band director, especially from, like, where he came just from when we did that interview. So shout out to you, man. Real proud of you. Shout out to all the programs that are coming up adding parity to this thing, which kind of rolls into the matchup that I wanted to talk about, Jackson State and Alabama A&M. I wanted to see it because it's the boom, of course, but Alabama A&M has been on the come up. So it's like, okay, is this going to be really good, or, you know, how is this going to go down? And I was impressed, of course, with the fifth quarter. Alabama A&M, I definitely thought they came up for Jackson State. Like, they definitely I'm sure they had a good week of practice, and, you know, they was ready to come for Jackson State's head there. They were at home, you know. I don't think we went there to Alabama A&M when I was at school. I don't remember going there. If I did, excuse me. But they actually got to go there to their stadium, and it looks like it's there on their campus, which is really cool to actually see a lot of, you know, the footage, and then seeing the college campus in the background. That was really cool. But, man, so, okay, so let's do, I'll talk about the halftime show first. Jackson State, I love the drill. The drill was the bomb. If anyone wants to check out that drill, you guys know. If you can, check it out. The drill, of course, I'm a drill guy anyway. If you roll up in there with a dope drill, I really appreciate it. The creativity of the dance routine. Of course, it's debate. We're working on all that. But off gate, hardcore marching band basics, fundamentals. Come out there with a really good drill, good sound, good precision, and you got half the battle essentially. And I thought Jackson State definitely did that with their drill. I thought that they beat Alabama State on the drill because not only did it look good and it was precise, but I love that some was death marching, slow marching, while others were keeping going. Alabama A&M, and excuse me if I interchange those a lot, but they did something similar. It just didn't look as good. And that's just my, and it's not a biased joint. You could just tell, you could look and tell. I'm sure all you Alabama A&M folks who was hyped up this weekend, you could at least say, we beat y'all in the drill. If I don't understand that, well, that's just something different. But Jackson State's drill was very good. It was death-defying. I mean, I'm sure that that's one of the best drills I've seen this year. So I was really excited to see that. Then, of course, it's hard to judge the rest of because it's starting to get so basic, like dance routine, unless it's like a lot of good energy. It's like, hard to say. You know what I mean? But I like what both bands did. Of course, I gave the drill. I think what have seen some of the CIAA bands do with the hybrid style, keeping the horns front and center. I thought it looked good. But just very precise in the performance. So, I gave the halftime to the boom. Alabama A&M just was not as precise on the field. I thought their drill, though good, not as good as Jackson State's drill. And also, I just don't like like Rashad and I talking about, just like get there without company fronts. I like how organized company fronts move the formations, and Alabama A&M's got the Bethune fam just get there type joints, and I'm just not a fan of that. But if you will, I like the boom better in the halftime show. All right. So going to the fifth with Jackson State, Alabama A&M, this is what was really got all the heat. Because there was so many people basically saying that Jackson State took the L. You know what I'm saying? That's always hard because we always pride ourselves at least winning both. Jackson State's try to be consistent would be a good halftime show and showing up in the stands. But, man, it was definitely interesting to see what happened. I was just like, wow. I knew that Alabama A&M was going to be good, and I knew that they were going to sound good. I was like, you know what, it's just going to come down to the play calling, But still, it was really, really hard to judge. So I watched it on Pranks Towel, and then I actually later watched it today on Alabama A&M's YouTube page. And I was like, wow, a lot more of the majority of what I seen saying that the MMW got Jackson State in the fifth. I mean, I tell you, man, they sounded good. And just back and forth outside of just play calling, it's like, hey, well, I don't necessarily know who won. You know what I mean? But I definitely feel that the boom is not. They don't have as much anger, or not. They're lacking some intensity. I think I saw that somewhere, like someone posted the comment that the boom is lacking a little bit of the intensity that they recognize, and I definitely agree with that. It's definitely something maybe with the transition, with the directors. I definitely think that has something to do with it mentally. But also, too, man, Jackson State showing up 300 deep, man, that's a little bit of an adjustment. I wish I could look here. I'm still working to understand Periscope and seeing, who says what and all the time. But this one girl was actually saying, and I kind of agree with her, that, most programs can't handle that many musicians. You got to, quote-unquote, trim the fat. And I was like, wow, she makes an interesting point, because Jackson State's not that traditionally big, but we're known for our precision, known for our upper brass, because we don't have, 4 French horns to every trumpet, so you can't never hear the funk no more, and people saying we the worst disappointment in the SWAC and yada, 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 That's just not traditionally us. Whereas on the other side, Alabama and A&M had the blend going. You know what I mean? They didn't have the same numbers, the same scare intensity factor, but they had the blend going on. So they sounded good. Of course, Jackson State sounded good too, you know, but you know, you can't argue that Alabama A&M was just getting crunk on because they weren't as loud. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing of showing up being loud and intensity and breaking people down. You know what I mean? Alabama A&M, they were much more precise and more accurate in their songs. You know what I mean? So, man, it was so close because still the boom showed up a little bit. You know, and it's too close to call. So, of course, for us, you know, it's like, oh, okay, well, if it's too close for Alabama A&M, then, you know, you can give them. And, of course, a shout-out to the one dude. I don't know his name, but he kept saying, oh, we giving them the medicine, Joe. Or he had stopped saying me, but he was talking back to me, talking about, oh, take this medicine, blah, blah, blah. I had a good time, you know, commenting on with all the folks watching it because, you know, I was trying to, you know, hold up for the squad, for the home squad. But, man, it was a trip to see. But definitely Alabama and A&M, they came with it. You know, I give them their props. I still give the fifth somewhat of a draw. You know what I mean? Because I still felt Jackson State, you know, they were more powerful, and they still had the songs. They still had the songs to respond to Alabama A&M. Like, just because you guys are new on the scene and you sound good doesn't mean that you just off-gate win. Like, that's what you're supposed to do is show up. You know what I mean? This is the boom we talking about here. So I thought it was good. I liked there was a really good play calling sequence when they played the Curtis Mayfield joint. I think Jackson State played something behind it. I think I have those clips playing tonight, but it was like a trombone feature. You know what I mean? So I really enjoyed that. So the play calling was on. A really good battle this weekend. But it was a thumbs up for overall. Shout out to all the folks that was commenting on YouTube and all those other places. I thought it was, you know, a really good battle. Overall, something that we could put out on a major platform to say, hey, look how valid our craft is, okay? So that was really good. Looking at my time here, I'll just go through and go to the second game. I saw SU and Prairie View A&M. This was Southern's homecoming, so shout out to Garrett. And shout out to all those guys. I'm sure they had a good time. Man, Prairie View A&M, I have to say, I slept on y'all, man. Like the first couple years we was doing the show, we wasn't doing too much of the shows, but now, man, I really enjoy them, man. They are good. They are complete, and they are just as loud as anybody else, but they don't have the numbers. Like, they don't have to show up with so many folks to be heard and to be fierce. But, man, they roll right with Southern this weekend. I mean, Southern is Southern. You know, so Southern is Southern. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. But when Prairie View shows up like they did, it was a really good fifth, probably the best fifth I've seen this year so far. And definitely in the running for, you know, the best fifth this year. But, man, it was a really good back and forth with the play calling. Nobody was slipping. Both bands were crunked. You know, something you could sit back and chill to. You know, it was really, really nice. I really enjoyed it. And the halftime show was impressive, too. You know, I guess, you know, the dance routines could have more energy. And, again, that's the whole thing about the creativity of stuff. But Prairie View sounds full and complete. They don't lose sound. They're a good band. They had a good show. You know, the S, of course, showing up, marching. They had a really good drill. I really liked the drill they had. It looked like, you know, like the zigzag braids. Well, I mean, I don't know braids, but I mean the zigzag joints in the middle. You know how back in the day, you know, somebody could braid their hair like that. Those were, I mean, it looked outstanding because, you know, like I said, I'm a drill guy, so I really appreciated that. So I gave like somewhat of the edge to the S because of the drill. The drill was just better than Prairie View's drill. But then on the fifth, like I said, I was really excited. But then the S was playing something, and then they started singing, y'all. So I was like, oh, like, you know, that's not my thing. And I was just like, oh, man, like the S, man, they sang. And then they came back in, you know, of course, with the fierceness. I mean, they ain't got to sing. But, like Rashad say, just holding it tight. And if it's like, yo, some people doing this, I got to hold to the letter of the law. So I felt that Prairie View got them on the fifth a little bit. I mean, they was running with them enough. Southern's supposed to beat everybody, even if it's close. But that little slip, just to me, you know what I'm saying? Even, you know what I'm saying, folks hating on me, man. I just don't want to hear bands singing. And, they sang, what's funny is one of the fiercest songs I ever heard them play was in 97, Blood on the Dance Floor. Michael Jackson. I don't know. It's really hard to find YouTubes of that Blood on the Dance Floor with Southern playing. But they ain't singing on that. Y'all check that. They ain't singing on that joint in 97. You know what I'm saying? So y'all should check that out. They ain't singing. So I was really, really proud of how Prairie View showed up. And I definitely think Prairie View is like adds the depth to the SWAC. You know what I mean? Like every conference has like their headliners. But, Prairie View adds that definition. They add that depth to, how the SWAC and that fierceness of sound, But they were complete, and you hear their levels. Really impressive show. All right. Who else? Let's see. I got a little bit of the time. Tuskegee and Stillman. Well, you know what? I'll just go ahead because, this might be a shorter show tonight. I'm going to go ahead and go to the first commercial break. We'll knock out those commercials, and then I'll come back and I'll talk about Tuskegee and Stillman. And, of course, it was really short checking out North Carolina A&T. So, or NCAT. I'll let you guys know about how NCAT was. Short little battle for the fifth that I saw with them. So we'll discuss that just in case the show may be short tonight like it was back in the day. This was like vintage archive 90-degree show. Just in case we blow up, this was like, oh yeah, this one when dude was just by himself and just his parents was listening. You know what I'm saying? This was how the show was, yo. So we going vintage tonight. You're free to call in 718-664. Tell us how your week 7 was. The 90-degree show. Shout out to all the folks out there listening. Appreciate the love and support. I definitely want to holler at the guy Hayes Austin. My man Hayes Austin gave me a shout out on YouTube. I was like, snap! I'm watching videos. You know how you go down to the comments, and sometimes that's where you find the darkest of folks at the comments and stuff. But, man, you roll down there, and he was like, yo, man, I watched the show. Like, oh. So I got to give him props. Go to this first commercial break. The 90-degree show. We'll be back. Thanks for listening.
Hello, this is Dr. Kevin Davenport, graduate of Tennessee State University and author of the book, Practical Techniques for Building a High School Marching Band. You are listening to the 90-degree show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
Having an anniversary party, birthday party, or better yet, you're about to marry that special someone? Liquid Effects Photography is the perfect choice to immortalize all your most special moments. With 10 years of dependable professional service that can deliver from the conventional to the best in cutting-edge technology and creativity. Come experience the uniqueness of Liquid Effects Photography. We serve the entire upper Midwest and will travel further upon request. Come check us out at liquideffects.com. That's LIQUIDEFFEX.com. Or call us at 773-454-5556. That's 773-454-5556.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
podcast of one-on-one interviews with positive role models that have a connection through music and or education. Chopping It Up is all about inspiring our youth for a great future and providing a roadmap on how to get there. We also chop it up to give insight to anyone looking for information or hope in their endeavors. Chop it up with us on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com/marchingpodcast. Chopping It Up, changing the world through positive interaction.
This is Warren Shaw, Chief Arranger and the voice of McClark Atlanta University, Mighty Marching Panthers. You are listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
Take it to a place nice and quiet. There ain't no one. I almost got into it there. I sang in front of the band. That's a no-no. It's nice, but that's a jam, though. Back in the thing, I was in college when that was out. Boy, that was a jam. Shout out to, I just not thought about it. Shout out to Johnson C. Smith, the IIOS, the 97 edition. That would be the edition after I left. The Toot Toot Bad Boy, which is what they call these tuba sections, had their own little version of this song. And they used to sing it in front of Myers Hall, which is the freshman girls' dorm. So shout out to them. I just now remember that, singing the song and wanting to remember some of the other words. So shout out to you, man. That's Pudgy, Craig, Deshaun, all of them, if I'm forgetting somebody. But I do remember that. So shout out to you, man. Good memories, good times, as they say. 718-664-6025. You listen to the 90 Degree Show. Here is week 7. Had a couple of other contests I checked out, and I see a couple folks here in the call. So we'll get to them here. Someone from the 205 area code. That's Alabama, I believe. Calling from 205. Where are you calling from? Or what's your name? Where are you calling from tonight?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you in the background. Yeah. Who is this?
It's Mario Warren.
What's
this is Carlton Wright.
Oh snap! Oh man, it's the MM Dub show. What's going on tonight, man? How you doing?
Everything's good, brother. We just headed back in from Atlanta, judging the contest. Headed back to Huntsville now.
Okay. Well, man, I was really excited to see you guys. How'd you guys feel about the performance this weekend?
Well, we feel pretty good about it. We still got some issues that we're trying to work out. Just Carlton speaking. We still know what we got to do to get ourselves together, and the kids just buy in and take our lead and, follow our lead on what we're trying to do. We'll eventually get there, but we're pleased but not satisfied.
Okay. Well, I'm really excited, man, because like I said, man, you guys are definitely on the come up, man, and turning some heads, definitely with your sound. So, well, let me ask you here, and I asked you, sir, since you started, and then I asked Mario the same question, or just Mario respond. What would you say has been the most exciting part of the season so far?
Well, I guess it starts with band camp on our end, because we came back with the right attitude, and all the kids came in on the same page and things like that. Great attitude. Unfortunately, we had to reduce in order to increase this year, but I think getting off to a good start, that was the best part of the season. And the good start that we had in Charlotte, that kind of set the pace for things to come. So, like I said, we're still looking to improve on what we're doing and just keep this momentum going. Hopefully we'll do that before the end of the season.
Okay. Mario, it's the same for you, man?
Yeah, probably I would probably say my most exciting moment was probably Charlotte. I really enjoyed that. It was a lot of adrenaline, kind of happened real fast, and I think I'm kind of a adrenaline junkie. So I think I like that. But it's been a good season. I'm very fortunate to work with Mr. Wright. He allowed me to do what I do, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, that's good, man. I really appreciate having y'all call into the show. I know we had Dr. Davenport calling in and just talking about, where you came from and the ear and everything. So that's really excited. I have to say, I was I wasn't knowing what to expect, but yeah, you guys definitely put on a good show, and a lot of the folks on YouTube were agreeing with you and stuff. But I have to say, man, that's tough as a band director to make that decision. It seems like every program has had to do that. I remember in '97 we were really, really big, and then Doc cut out so many people that next year, to rebuild. I know that's tough, but like, how do you make that decision? Like, how do you say, man, this guy's good, but he's a knucklehead? And then so I guess I asked you, do you you inform the students up front, or how do they find out that they're not in the band the next year?
Well, as far as I go, as far as I'm concerned, I'm really a patient man, and I believe in giving kids an opportunity to straighten up, because when I was a student at A&M back in the '80s, I did some knuckleheaded stuff myself, and our band director, Mr. Wesley, he gave us the opportunity to straighten up. It's a different breed of kids. They're cut from a different cloth today, as the old cliche goes. But when you've had enough, you had enough. Guys want to come to practice late. Guys want to miss practice. They want to come and not knowing the music. And I don't care what level you come to our program. You can be at a level 3, but by the end of the season, we expect for you to make some drastic improvements and get better, so that you can make our group better, make the section better, make the band better. Excuse me. But when guys come in and just lazy around and don't buy into the program, and excuse the French, but they think doo-doo don't stink, sometimes you have to put their foot in it and make them smell it. So, when it gets down to that point, it's time to go. And, that's just the bottom line. We like to have fun. We like to joke around with the kids and everything, but when it comes down to work, all BS aside, let's get it or get gone.
Yeah, and unfortunately for those ones that needed to have that, some of them don't get it, some of them do, but to all of them, unfortunately, that actually had it happen to you, you guys should check out the tape and see that, one person don't stop the show. Definitely on the other side of the fence, we had a lot more different conversations going on than, Alabama was showing up hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, one person don't stop the show, man, because, you guys are still moving on. And you guys, who do you guys play next on the schedule?
Our biggest rival, Alabama State, right?
Oh, okay. So that's the Magic City Classic then?
Yep.
Okay, so that's outstanding. So, yeah, we'll be there. Well, I'm sure Periscope and all the folks will be there. I know that we try to do that every year, so I'm sure that'll be our headliner next week. So we'll definitely be tuned in to you guys. But we really appreciate the call this evening. But yeah, man, we a lot of the folks, a lot of the people, other than the, diehard Jackson State folks were saying that hashtag MMW won the 5th. I thought, the halftime show, I really liked y'all's drill, but I gave the Boom the edge in the halftime because of their drill. But of course, that's up and down. Yeah, that's up and down. But yeah, that fifth, man, that y'all definitely felt like you rose to the occasion. And I don't know what's going on with my side. I think there's some internal stuff we definitely gonna handle, but I'm really proud of what you guys did. It definitely added some parity to this thing. You know what I'm saying?
But let me give a shout out to the guys on the staff, man. We got some guys. Of course, Mario put the hammer down with his arrangements and things. We got Michael Baxton with Thomasville City band director, comes over to work with us after he gets off work. Same thing with Drew Miller. And Roger Rudolph is a retired band director. He works with our percussion line. And we got a couple of graduate assistants. Matthew Goodman did his undergrad at Winston-Salem State. He does some of the drill work for us. Anthony McCart III, he's a grad student as well. He's doing some good things with us. And our dance diva sponsor, Ms. Ranger, and the flag line, fabulous flag line sponsor, Ms. Burton. Hey, we got a team. We got a family, man. We just all pitch in and do our jobs and just have fun, man. That's what it's all about. So I want to give a shout-out to all those guys that work with us. If I forgot anybody, you can see it tomorrow, but I really appreciate y'all.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding. I really love the fact, like you said, it's a family, educating some young, intelligent minds, being productive citizens. That's what we all about here on the Marching Podcast. We're trying to show the world how productive we are, especially through music education. But, building that infrastructure, I'm into sports too, so when we see these programs come up and they start winning games, and then, like a couple years later, they get caught cheating and all that. That ain't happening for us. You actually, like you said, this young man's from Winston-Salem State, this young man's from Tennessee State. We actually we're returning the investment to our schools, and that's what I want the world to know about. So I really appreciate calling in and definitely telling us that because that's what we want to hear on the network.
Well, all right, we just wanted to call in, man. We really was, we just want to listen to the rest of the show. That's the only way we can get it. We tried to listen to the computer, but it's not active right. So we just called in and figured we were talking there. We're just going to listen to the rest of the show.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, I definitely mute your mic. So yeah, we sure appreciate it. The directors, and then I definitely send you guys that link. I definitely want to chop it up with you guys. Definitely make some things happen here out on the West Coast. So again, we appreciate your time, y'all. Thanks for calling in.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, y'all. Y'all heard the band staff, Alabama A&M calling in. Shout out to all the band directors. I have to give another round of applause for that. Reminds me of the 30 for 30. I think we talked about it a little while ago. The 30 for 30 about the Soul Man. And the dude signed Jordan. He did all this stuff. Well, basically, he went to the coaches. You know what I'm saying? He hollered at these directors. And these directors are people who are returning the investment, man. We hear so much, these people are, oh, my God, they're always calling each other the N-word on these refs. So, oh, my God. It's like, the majority of them are like that. Well, believe it or not, we go to school, too. You know what I'm saying? And we actually are doing good things. The purpose of the network. Love to hear the story about Miles. Love to hear what Alabama A&M is doing. Loving to hear things turning over for the better. And then you got in the product now where the Boom is like, yo, man, what happened? This Alabama A&M, you know what I'm saying? This is the point, y'all. So I'm glad that we got the point across. So 718-664-6025. You're welcome to call in. A couple more calls. Let me go ahead and get Tuskegee and Stillman out the way because another man, we're just talking about this, turning the investment. Brother graduated from Florida A&M, our beloved Florida A&M, beloved chopping it up listener or chopping it up interview person, John Lennard, if you will, head band director there at Tuskegee. Let me say this right quick, and I don't mean no disrespect or anything, but the Tuskegee Stadium with the canopy or whatever it is that's over the band, and I can't see like the band. is that like tradition? Please, someone call in and break me down on why they got that thing over the band like that. It's not whack. You didn't hear me say it's whack, because we are talking about Tuskegee. That's a lot of tradition here. But yo, like why that's over the band like that, man? Like, so I know I saw them earlier this year, and I was like, oh, maybe it was raining or something. But yo, they like that over there all the time, I guess. Yeah, please. If that's supposed to be like that, we'll just put it in like the Grambling walking around with the bass drum. I'll just put it in that, cause yo, that's different. But regarding the 5th, I was excited because Tuskegee is actually starting to get there. I think John is actually pushing them. Director Leonard is actually pushing them with the arrangements they were playing. So off gate, you could tell Tuskegee was playing tougher songs, or like the arrangements were different. Stillman, that's who the matchup was. They actually played with more control than Tuskegee. But Tuskegee, they were coming with some fierceness. They had some sound. They had that B-tones horn coming out. So shout out to John. He's definitely making his foot there, and he's changing what's going on, and he's challenging them with that music. They did one song. I don't even know the word. That song. And everybody played it this week. I think I heard it. Everybody played the joint. They played that, and like the key changed at the end. I was like, dang, like, I don't know if the song does that, but I hadn't heard that part. So I was like, okay, Tuskegee, all right, John, putting something in front of them. Whereas Stillman was just it was basic, like staying within themselves. They wasn't trying to push the cup. Yeah, I mean, but they had a lot of choreography in the stands, but it kind of worked for them. Took me back to my Smith days, because they're small, but they stayed within themselves. They didn't try to overblow and then have notes come out or have things wrong or people slipping in the cracks. They stayed within themselves. So I was really appreciative of Stillman, what they did. Tuskegee had the more mature full sound, and of course Stillman had a lot of tuba drum breaks. Shout out to Smith, where we just used to do tuba, and then we started doing a running man or something. They had a lot of those. But if that's them, I can't really count it against them. But I just that's personal. I like seeing people crank in the 5th. You know what I mean? We could do that at the game, but show me the book at the 5th. But I'm sure that's what their book was. So Tuskegee. And then the other thing, though, I have to say, though, Tuskegee's book, they threw Snake out. Like yeah. I was surprised me, especially in the time that they played it, because I was like, yo, they played Snake like deep in the 5th. But I was like, yeah, they probably should have came with something else in that. That was, and even people in the background were saying that Tuskegee's book hadn't changed that much, and people were saying that a lot about Bethune too. Which is another, we'll get into that about Bethune's attitude showing up in place. Well, but Tuskegee, they played Snake. So there was a question there, let's say, about the play calling there in that particular instance. So I guess at the end, and all in all, it was closer than people think. People, I'm sure, when you say Stillman, you like not even thinking about Stillman, but Stillman was together. A lot of these bands may be small, but their heart, they're together, they're one, and, they showing with a little performance. So, again, you can't really sleep on these bands, and it's performing for the overall better benefit for all our schools anyway. So, shout out to Stillman. I have to give you a round of applause. I wasn't expecting that for the 5th, but I thought that you guys did well. But still, I thought Tuskegee had the edge because, of course, the difference in sound, maturity of sound, and I felt that, they were playing some more difficult songs. But the play calling, though, again, it's like back and forth with me right there. I mean, it's close. You know what I mean? It's close, but again, that's like a personal thing. If I was the drum beat breakdown guy, I would say Stillman won. You know, I just like to hear more crankage, if you will. But shout out to Brother Leonard, and shout out to the guy here there at Stillman, and the guy, I don't know if he's part of the Brian Lyles, if he's on that staff. You're doing good things. You know, there's a lot of good, talented musicians, just like the brothers from Alabama A&M just called in and said, you know, we're turning over this thing, and we actually got some really proud people that should be put out on the forefront, so we actually can see, hey, you know, we can turn this thing over. That rolls into, you know, a little bit of what we get into tonight about band directors in Texas and how much they make. So again, you know, we'll see what's good with that. All right. Got a couple calls calling in, so we'll get to one of them because I don't want to keep anyone on the call waiting. You know, this ain't fantasy sports talk radio. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to get too crunk on myself and start missing callers. So let's get to some folks here. This one brother has been on hold the longest from the 269 area code. Okay, there you go. Caller, give us your name and where you calling from tonight.
Chris Jones from Michigan, baby.
Chris Jones. What's up, Chris Jones?
What's up, man? Chilling, man.
I'm doing all right, man. Good to hear from you, Chris Jones.
Man, you know I caught that fifth on. I caught the whole scenario with Alabama A&M and Jackson State. I got to put my word in, bro.
Oh, man, go ahead, brother.
You want me to put it down for real?
I mean, just go ahead, because I know where you're from. So, you know go ahead and give me your honest opinion.
I'm going to keep it real. The drill was great that Jackson State did. Drill was great.
Yeah, it was.
But
it was
the dance routine sucked. The dance routine sucked. I haven't seen one of those wow factors. We talked about this the other day, last week. I haven't seen that wow factor yet. I don't care if you got 336 members. So what? You still not bringing it like 336 members. You're not giving me what I want. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm spoiled. Joe, I'm sorry. I remember when we had 150, 160, and we was bringing the A game. They had 336, man. The drill was great. I love the drill. I do.
The drill was. Man.
The drill was hot. Yeah, I love the Death March in the middle of it. That was hot. But at the same time, you got the wow me in all factors, even from the dance girls factors. The Jay says did not impress me. Now in the stands, I heard some good stuff, but I was more or less impressed with A&M. I'm gonna call a spade, brother. I gotta call a spade.
Right.
Hey man, we gonna keep it real in the field. And it was bringing it. They had a nice tone, nice quality. I mean, they had 20. I think I counted 28 trumpets to be exact. 28 trumpets, 16 baritones. I think I counted 22, maybe 22 to 20 trombones, and they had.
But nothing, nothing to compare to the boom, though. In any section, no.
Boom, as far as numbers, no. But that sound that they had was nice. It was nice, bro. It was nice, and
they got a nice sound, man. You know what I'm saying? They have a nice sound, yeah.
I went in and visited them last year. I went down there. I took my kids down there from the high school. We went and visited A&M, and you know I was just telling them how the quality of the band. Because back in the day, that band used to be one of the biggest bands in the HBCU. Used to have over 300 members at A&M. Yes,
wow.
Sir, sure did. They sure did. Back in the gentleman, I heard the brother talking. He said he was in the 80s. That's when and you know one of the best songs from one of the best band songs. You Can Ring My Bell. His brother named Fred Knight comes from A&M. He marched in that band. He wrote that song. Sure did. Yeah, man. It's a lot of history in A&M, but I just got to give my props to A&M. You know, I'm not an A&M fan. But I'm a bandsman, so I have to give my props. And I was impressed with the sound that they had. I was impressed with the show that they put on. I was impressed with the drum majors, and I was impressed with the quality of pageantry that they had. The discipline I saw in the stand, just everybody trying to look alike, everybody trying to stand alike. I mean, those are the things that bandsmen see, that band heads see, and that's what I was noticing. You know.
Okay.
But man,
well, that's what's up. That's what's up, Chris Jones. Sure appreciate that. I keep you on here for a second.
Okay, cool. Hey, I miss you, man.
I miss you, Chris Jones, man. Yeah, we definitely have to get up, man. Shout out to all the folks in the IIOS. Shout out to the folks in the booth too, but shout out to the folks in Charlotte, man. You know what I'm saying? It's different, Mark, being a Smith, because all we had was each other, brother. We ain't got these.
That's
memories.
all we had.
That's all we had. It was how we used memories of when we kicked it, because the competitions, brother, was off the chain.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was different. But I'm gonna mute your microphone for a second, man. I got another one of these calls. I'll let you know if I bring you back in, though. But appreciate the call, though. Chris Jones, y'all check out March Aerobics. I'll let you give a shout-out at the end, man. Advertise your stuff here for a second.
No problem, bro. Hey, man. Hey, appreciate you, man. Keep on doing that good work, man. Keep on doing that good work, bro.
Likewise. Thanks, Chris Jones. 718-664-6025. Got a caller from the 407 area code. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from tonight?
What's up, Joe? This is John Lennard. How you doing?
Oh, what's going on, sir? What's going on, man?
Doing pretty good, man.
Man, good to hear from you, man. And glad that now we on the Voices. Congratulations. I want to tell you congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Thank you for your support in the past and everything, and and bringing up Tuskegee's Band, giving us good criticism. It's always good to hear the positives and the negatives of what you're doing. So when you're in front of your program all the time, sometimes it's hard to hear when you're in it, and sometimes it's good to get someone else's perspective of what you're doing. Sometimes good or bad. So I just appreciate that. What you're doing, I'm sure the other directors. I know my friend Mr. Wright at A&M and other directors can concur that that's very helpful to us.
Yeah, man. Well, definitely, because I'm checking it out, and I definitely, I just like seeing what I see. But definitely, I had to ask you, man. So, what's up with the roof? Is that the what's that,
okay.
man?
Like, I don't know where this shit came from, but I went to FAMU, but I'm actually a native of Tuskegee, Alabama. I actually grew up here. So, I ever since I was a kid, it's always been there. So, the band moved to the other side of the field, which is actually the press box side, like 1 year, and there was like a revolt. So it's kind of like lights at Wrigley Field and the wall out at Fenway Park. It's something that if we took the band out of this shed, like it would literally be a revolt. Sometimes it's the shed experience itself is unless you've been under the shed and know what goes on under there and the atmosphere of a Tuskegee game. I love my alma mater, FAMU, and I always thought it was alive at school, but there's nothing like being under the shed at a Tuskegee football game. Like the atmosphere is bananas, man. Like that crowd under there. I mean, like the kids get there. Our game started about 1:00. The kids start getting there like around 10 o'clock in the morning. If you don't get under there, by 10:30, 11 o'clock, you're not getting a seat under the shed, and like you got to be under the shed if you're a student. So the
fans sit with y'all. That's just not for the band. That's just not for the band.
Well, that's the thing. If we're not there, then like I said, it'll be a revolt. It's just one of those things. Of course, acoustic wise, it kind of hampers us as far as, playing or whatever. But I think it's like you said, it's a tradition thing. It's been there as long as I've been alive. I'm 40 years old, and it's been there all my life. So, and I don't, unless we get a new stadium, I don't see the shed going anywhere, to be honest with you.
Wow. So that's actually really cool, and that's why I was like, before I say anything, this is Tuskegee. So let me just like move slow, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard.
It's
hard to see the band on Periscope. That's all I'm saying.
Right, right. If they move that shed, I think the ghost of Booker T. Washington and George Washington Carver would come up, and the Tuskegee Airmen would start flying in, dropping bombs. I mean, literally, like that's how serious that shed is.
That's what's up, man. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, somebody break me down about the shed, because it was like, I think I saw the first. I saw you guys against somebody at the beginning of the year or something, and I was like, what? I was like, it must be raining. Like, they under this thing. And then when I saw it this weekend, I was like, okay, you know. Well, that's cool. And then the fans sit under the shed, like right next to the band.
Yeah, they sit next to us on. It's like a small student side on the right side of us, and then it's like a kind of on a kids who just people who just graduated. They sit on the left side, so you know. I mean, they trust me. They get there before the game. They have all these songs they sing before we get there. They have all these chants, and I mean, it's nuts. It's an experience. The shared experience of it, you know, is an experience all on its own, even before we even get to the game. So when we get there, it's, you know, like I said, we just try to provide the soundtrack for them. So
right,
and you know, like you know, and I know our team appreciates it, and the school appreciates it. You know, because I mean, the energy that the fans give is really, really amazing. You know, to be honest with you, just not good for acoustics, but.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was thinking that too. I was like, I wonder if like something is bouncing off that, you know, but
once we get the drums and everything starts, kind of dampens the sound, and you know, kind of I you know, with the drums and the lower brass instruments, it kind of, you know, it kind of gives you a false sense of what we actually sound like. You know what I mean? So.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of the, like I said, like the drums banging, noise banging across. So, you know, it's something that, you know, I don't know. We'll probably never be able to change it unless we get a new stadium. I mean, they've always been talking about getting a new stadium or whatnot, which is something we probably need, but, you know, I don't, and then not anytime soon.
Right.
So.
I must say, let's raise the money for a dome, and then everybody can be under the shed. It'll be a big shed.
Right, exactly.
That's tight, man. Well, yeah, man. Like I say, man, I enjoyed it because, like I say, man, I noticed that you doing something already, and I definitely noticed like you challenging them with that music, because that key change on that one song, and then there was another song that had like a bridge or something that was kind of difficult.
Okay.
So it was you know what I'm saying, y'all?
Yeah, the thing that, like you mentioned before I came to work at Tuskegee, I was I don't want to call it, I wasn't a street musician, but I was a musician, you know, playing, you know, in the Orlando area mostly. But, you know, as a musician, I, you know, dealing with more of like live band sound, I try to implement that into, you know, my arranging. You know, of course, coming from FAMU, arranging is something important to us. And, you know, even though our instrumentation isn't where I want it, you try to do with what you have. And so I try to do key changes and, you know, try to do altered chords as much as possible to, you know, just to give it, you know, so you're hearing the song, but you're hearing more of a live version of the song. You know, if I had my, you know, like my R&B band or whatever, or my gospel band or whatever playing it, you know, I kind of approach it, you know, my writing like that, you know, as opposed to just, you know, the typical marching band, just to give us, you know, I don't want to say it's an edge, but it's just something different. You know, I'm a jazz musician at heart, so, you know, I always try to do stuff a little bit different, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, that's what's up, man. Well, I mean, I enjoyed it. And I immediately thought about it. I was like, man, if Tuskegee on to come up, what is Alabama going to do? Y'all going to have Miles to deal with?
Yeah.
Alabama A&M, and then Tuskegee. I mean, what's going to happen? Y'all have to have a fight or something about it, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of, you know, and you know, being a native Alabamian, you know, that's a great thing, you know, just to have all these different, you know, I know Mr. Snipes over at Miles, and they're doing their things. I don't know the staff at Talladega, but I'm excited to see what they're doing up there.
Oh, I forgot about
them. And of course,
yeah.
my friend Carlton Wright, and the guys over at Alabama State. It's just good to see bands in this. It's good for the kids of the state of Alabama to have they don't have to go out of state to to be a part of a good band program, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge because Nick Saban and them, they trying to keep all them football players in the state.
Exactly.
They mad at Jameis Winston, man.
It's hard to try to keep all these musicians here in the state of Alabama. Hopefully, we can get more of them. Here at Tuskegee, we just started a music department this year. I don't even have any music majors in the band yet, but we're that's something that we're looking to grow with our music department here at Tuskegee. So definitely look out for us in the next it's a growing process. Mr. Warren Duncan has been here for 43 years, and he passed the baton to me this year. So it's a big transition year, and you know how transitions go. You have your heartaches and you have your headaches, but we're I'm excited. I'm really excited about what our program has to offer in the future.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Like I say, I noticed it, so I was really excited to see that, I already see that, he making his name on there. I know that, I know him, you know what I'm saying? So,
right.
So that's really exciting, man. So definitely shout out to you, John, man. Really proud of what you're doing,
Thank you,
man, and doing your thing. And like I say, man, that was exciting when you called in because, you were there with Christy and, and we at both our fan story. That's dope, man. That's the truth.
Right.
Man.
I think it's amazing how we go from, the student side, to the early internet days to now we have podcasts and all these other, all the other, marching band, black college marching band related, businesses that are popped up out of this. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and definitely we all know each other too, so it's definitely bringing in the family aspect. And shout out to those videographers; they are definitely family. I think I was talking about them.
And I want to wish a happy birthday to my Family Alpha brother Warren Shaw over at Clark. Birthday
snap.
Today.
Okay. I don't know. I actually had him on the doing the little promo thing tonight, so I'm glad I did. I didn't know it was his birthday.
Yeah. I mean, according to Facebook.
Right. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, right. Man. It's hard. I try to say happy birthday to folks every day, but sometimes it depends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what's up, man. I sure appreciate it, John, man. I can mute your microphone just in case you're listening to the show through your phone. But again, I appreciate the call, man.
All right. Thank you.
All right, y'all, 718-664-6025. Outstanding to hear from all these directors after we 2 for 2 with the hearing from the directors. Definitely adding a lot of validity here in what we're doing in this thing. Is one more caller here? Caller, I'm looking and appreciate you calling. Nasarik. Because, see, folks roll in with the phone number, but this person got the handle on, and I'm sorry that the brother sounding illiterate right now. I don't know how to pronounce it. Something 24. You own.
Hey, how's it going, my man?
What's going on? How you say your name, brother?
It's NASCAR Rick.
Oh, NASCAR Rick 24. What's going on, man?
Yeah, big NASCAR fan. Just moved up here to the Bronx not too long ago. Started picking it up. But, my name is Rick Johnson. Big A&M fan. Big fan of the marching band. Big fan of, black community and marching bands. And, I just wanted to share the story. I once was at a band practice, and this guy shoved a flute up my asshole. I took my tuba, clanked him over the head, and started.
Yeah, sorry, NASCAR Rick. That was great. And we're excited you're a fan of the black community, but the language, brother. I should have told you. That's my fault. You know what I'm saying? But hey, shout out to NASCAR Rick, y'all. A fan of A&M and a fan of the black community. We sure appreciate it. Outstanding. 718-664-6025. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show here with the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. Thanks for listening. I will right quick go to, because I had a little something to say about the North Carolina A&T and Bethune-Cookman. So my brother Ramon Key called in last week, like I said, and was talking about NCAT. And so I was like, that's tight. I really enjoy that. So NCAT, I wanted to say them. So this, naturally, you see these two bands. These are two headliner bands. You know what I'm saying? So you actually are surprised at the fifth being so short. When I saw the little whistle show up on Periscope, I was definitely excited. I was like, man, this is another fifth we got to squeeze in here. But, you know, this is Bethune and Norfolk. Got to get some eyes on holler at this. So we actually start to watch the fifth. Bethune-Cookman, other than the size, I didn't know if it was Stillman or Bethune. Okay, no shade, all right? But I'm just not a fan of the choreography in the stands. They did as much drum and tuba beats dancing as Stillman College did. No lie. And I was like, okay, so maybe that's what they want, but it's like they've taken it to the next level. Like they might be in the band room practicing this stuff. You know what I mean? Bethune-Cookman has a great sound. They don't need to move. You know what I mean? So like to see them like doing all the, you know, the stuff while they're playing, yeah, tripped me out. You know what I mean? So I was turned off. They played a couple songs, and then went back. And this is what I was telling Chrissy. I know we talked about these conference differences or whatever, but maybe more of the dancing and all that, other than Grambling dancing all the time. You know, maybe more of the choreography stuff is more of a MEAC thing. And again, not trying to classify it or whatever, because I know some people appreciate it. But man, Bethune-Cookman to be that band and to see that, I don't know. You know what I mean? Again, it's just a personal thing. No need for the visual certification. You already Bethune. You know what I mean? So then I was like, okay, bet. I think that Bethune is going to sound better because, you know, we haven't really seen NCAT, if you will, show up to par for the stands. But North Carolina A&T sounded really, really good in the stands. They definitely knew who was on the other side, so they came with it. You know, definitely maybe some extra time there in the band room, if you know what I'm saying. But I was really excited to see how North Carolina A&T was responding to all the dancing choreography, okay? But then I saw the Periscope thing at the bottom, and you can see, like, the length of the video, and I was like, man, this video is kind of short. Like, there's not too many songs going on here. BCU played The Ice Cream Man. Yes, by Master P. Beloved, Love No Limit. No Limit was the bomb in the day. Still the bomb to me. You know, was they were running thing when I was in school. You know what I'm saying? Late 90s. But wow. Not only does BCU play it a whole lot, but they sing with it. And y'all know about me and the singing, like, so BCU, they just took they mailed in the L. And that was what I had to say about BCU. Shout out to Brother Drain. You know, he always wanted to say, man, let me know what's going on. And I meant to text him to tell him. But, man, how disappointing. And it was also like, it was almost like, well, they was like, well, whatever. And then they just got their stuff and left. Like that attitude. They showed up with an attitude. We know we better than North Carolina A&T. We don't really have to prove it. You kind of do. A&T's no slouch. You know what I mean? I haven't seen the halftime show. But, you know, after traditionally, A&T would probably beat you on the halftime show. So why not blow them out in the stands where we know you can? But, of course, maybe they had something to do. Maybe they had a battle of the band. I'm sure there's some excuse. Please call in and let me know. Break me down like Brother Lennar had to break me down about the shed. You know what I'm saying? But, man, it's the same thing with Bethune. It's just maybe an attitude or the way they carry themselves. They know they the bomb, and they pretty much flip the switch when they want to. That's what it seems like. You know what I mean? So let's hit this last commercial break. I got a caller here in the caller queue, and we'll get to you after the break here. But we'll go to this next commercial break. But, hey, if y'all out there, Y'all can't be cussing on the show, man.
Anniversary party.
Y'all can't curse on the show, man. Y'all can't call on. And I know nothing crazy. We won't discriminate. NASCAR is good, and some other places are good. But yeah, please call in. Have some respect for yourselves. We can't curse on the network. We're trying to have some positive influences out here. But I'm sure I don't really need to say that to the real folks who ride this thing out. But shout out to all the haters, and shout out to all the folks that might be listening to tear it down. Needs to edit somewhere. Yeah. All right. So we'll be back after this commercial break to hear from these minority-owned businesses supporting the network. We'll be back. Lay it down. 90 Degree Show, Week 7. Thanks for listening.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge1 Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
Hello, this is John Needham II, proud graduate of Dillard University, class of 2000, and owner of N2 Fitness, where you can purchase your workout gear at www.n2fitness.storeenvy.com. You are listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
Hello, this is Brenda Henty, teacher at Emmanuel Lutheran School in Olivet, Missouri, and proud graduate of Concordia University, Chicago, Illinois, 1987. You are listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
Welcome back to the show. I think more Alabama A&M for the clip, bringing us back in the final segment of the show tonight. Open it up to you guys, 718-664-6025. Got a couple issues to throw out there on the mic tonight, but we do have a caller from the 843 that we want to get to. But yeah, we talked about all the shows, the SR, BCU, A&T, Prairie View, and Southern. Really enjoyed that. Tuskegee, Stillman, Jackson State, Alabama, A&M. Yeah, I think we covered other stuff. So I got a couple other things to bounce off you guys. I'll turn them off. 718-664-6025. Let's get to our caller for the 843 area code. Caller, where are you calling from? What's your name? Where are you calling from tonight?
Hey, Joseph. This is Otis Jefferson. I'm calling from, well, actually, right now I'm in Savannah, Georgia.
What's up, Otis, man? What's going on, man? Nice to meet you, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Otis is a proud grad of Savannah State. And I was actually getting right into that. I just wanted to make sure I had, so it's like perfect timing you called in, man. I actually put out there, I think we talked about it last week, but there was a fire on the South Savannah State campus, and did some things to the uniforms, the band uniforms, instruments or whatnot. And we wanted to send a shout out to prayers and everything to the university to get them back on their feet. The birthday boy, Brother Shaw, put a link on Facebook, I think, for folks to donate. I'm going to post that link on my blog, and I'm posting it now in the chat room. So if anyone is there in the chat room and listening, you guys can click on that link and go support Savannah State. But, man, appreciate you calling in, man. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. I'm actually heading back to Atlanta at this point. But, yeah, I'm doing fine after the homecoming festivities at Savannah State this weekend.
That's cool, man. So that's actually good with, actually it's the good positive things going on with the homecoming. Mm-hmm. How is the band holding up? How is the pulse of things going on out there?
Well, they're actually getting through. I think they had a little setback this weekend, but of course, through it all, they went out and played at all the events, the pep rally, the parade, and then also the halftime show. And a lot of the alumni, they were very proud of them. And so it was a great homecoming. And, like I said, if anyone can just go to that GoFundMe account, and if you can, anything that you can give would definitely help the band.
That's cool, man. So I know we want to chop it up with you, but you are one of the great videographers, if you will, and you're doing your thing. I know that you live in there in Houston and whatnot. How did you start getting into filming like band tapes and stuff? The band.
Well, actually, it just started when I first attended Savannah State, which was in '98. So I used to just take my camera and I would always film the band, and then it started where members of the band would say, "Oh, can you make me a copy of the tapes?" And from there, it just, I started going to different college games and taping the games, and that's how it kind of started, just going to games, because I always wanted to do something where I could get out the HBCU experience to students who couldn't really come to the games or visit a HBCU. So that was my whole, thing behind starting with this video.
That's cool, man, because, I sure appreciate it. Like, the more y'all doing things, the more I'm able to check things out, because, man, you can't find nothing, like, way out here in California other than the internet. You know what I mean? So, you'll be suffering out here, man. So right fast, man, where are you from?
I'm actually from Florence, South Carolina. Well, actually, it's a little small town called Timminsville, South Carolina, but it's near Florence, South Carolina.
Okay, so, all right. All right. My best friend in college, he actually said he might be listening to the show, Avery McFadden. Mm-hmm. He's our brass expert, went to Marion High School, but he's from Florence. Yeah. It's Quimby neighborhood.
Yeah, it's not far. My little area is probably maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes from Marion, so it's not far.
Okay, that's cool, man. That's actually really, really cool. So definitely, we definitely want to get folks to, fund the band program or fund, whatever happened. And I really was glad that you're able to call in, because I want to, get your voice on here and everything. Mm-hmm. So I know Savannah State's band has been on the come up. What did you think was their best performance so far this year?
Actually, I would have to say Homecoming. I would definitely say that the show they did yesterday was probably their best performance. And I'm actually, once I get home, I'm going to be in the process of trying to get all that together so I can put it up on YouTube. But I think that was the best performance this year so far to date.
So were they able? I know that they had like some instruments. Did they have enough to still perform and to still keep the season going, or did someone like have to like lend them some instruments and stuff?
Well, this is just what I gathered from some of the band members. There was a company that is located in Georgia that actually got instruments for the band to play this weekend. So for the homecoming festivities. So I don't know if this is something that they're going to keep throughout their season, but I know they did have a good enough instruments to play for the homecoming, and they had enough members to play and perform. So
yeah, and I definitely would like to see that video because I'm sure with that they had some adrenaline and some pride kick in that show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I'm sure.
Yeah, and one thing I could tell, the band, you know, these students, they really impressed me because they went out on that field and they gave it 110%. So, you know, as an alumni, and I'm very proud of them. I mean, everyone talked about that performance yesterday after the game, so I'm very proud of them.
That's cool, man. So who did y'all play?
We actually played North Carolina Central.
Oh, wow. Okay. T.D. Hollins and them, man. So they had to come in and take the L then, huh, man?
Yeah, because they didn't bring the band, but, you know, of course, they stayed where they were. But yeah, the band, you know, they were great. You know, Savannah State is always going to be for Savannah State.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. I guess that they didn't bring the band.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what's funny is that even if it was like a football game or if it was something like that, there was no way that anybody would come in with all that emotion of homecoming and what happened. They weren't going to come in and win. You know what I'm saying? Did your football team win?
Unfortunately, we didn't win. We were very happy because at the first half we were 22-0, and it kind of went down from there. So
Savannah State did win the game, the football game?
No, we didn't.
So is Savannah State, are they traditionally like a football team, a football school, so to speak?
Right now, for the past few years, we're still rebuilding the whole football program. As of this season, we've only won one game. So when I was there, it was, you know, the football team was, you know, it was all about the football team. They were a winning team. And like I said, we're going through rebuilding, so I'm pretty sure, you know, hopefully we will get back to that point.
Yeah. Everybody's got the up and down. I think Jackson State ain't really been doing too well, and I know for sure we a football school. So, yeah, we've been taking them L's too, man. But I get up and down. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also want to, while I'm up here, I want to say happy birthday to Warren too, because I work for Clark Atlanta, not actually for school, but I work on the campus. So I see him around a few times.
Okay, all right. Well, shout out to Brother Shaw. That's actually really cool that you, again, it's the networking. Like, you know, Brother Shaw, a lot of us know each other, man. So that's where I definitely got really belief and faith in what we're doing because, you know, we all know each other. We're all contacting and working together. So I think we're definitely making a difference, man. I really appreciate the call, man.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Thank you for the show because this is how we're getting the HBCU experience out to the students who can't really, you know, be there physically. So I really thank you for the show week in and week out.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate that, the words as well. And again, you know, thanks for the follow, you know, on Facebook and everything. And yeah, I'll send you the link so we can chop it up to you in the future. I'm gonna start those, I think, in February, after the season and all. So we'll definitely be getting you out there, man. I appreciate what you do, man.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'll just mute your microphone just in case you listen to the show through your phone.
Okay, thanks.
All right, no problem. 718-664-6025. Really exciting. Got some real good people calling in on the show tonight. You know, and shout out to all the folks that have been in support, all the sponsors, all the folks. We're getting somewhere, as you guys can see tonight. We're actually getting somewhere, and that's what we want to do. So looking here, so again, I put that link there in the chat room. Make sure I'll post it again. You guys make sure you go to, it's one of the GoFundMe joints. Also, you can look at the Marching Podcast on Twitter, at Marching Podcast, and I've tweeted it a couple times. You'll see the tweet that, we helped Savannah State, and you can do the same thing as well and click on the link here. We posted it on Facebook. So it's around a couple places, and I'm sure if you put Savannah State Band and GoFundMe, Google, at push come to shove, you will be able to find it. But let's continue to support our community. Infrastructure, unfortunately, is based on money, because money makes the world go round. I was about money. Hey, I almost thought to break it down for a second there. That's all, but it does essentially. But the point is that we actually give it to each other to support one another. And I think that for the most part, this strong group of users, HBCU graduates and the like, have that idea already in our heads. So let's go ahead and push forward with that thinking so we can see the results of those cross swords, if you will. 718-664-6025. Again, thanks for listening. I wanted to talk to the, shout out to Savannah State. Go help them out. Also, shout out to Luis Suarez. He posted on HBCU Uncut Group showing that Miles and Prairie View A&M should get together to do some type of battle of the bands. He actually posted it on the page. He had, I guess it was the Google post, and it was from Professor Snipes. He said, "Hey, let's get it going." That would be crunk. Miles, Prairie View A&M. Like I say, I like Prairie View A&M, man. I slept on them. Definitely providing that depth for the SWAC, and they sound good. They're complete. I saw them last year or the year before whenever they had the SWAC Battle of the Bands. You guys remember after the SWAC championship game, they had the halftime show. They were good then. I was just like, okay, they good, but whatever. But, hey, that consistency is showing up. So really glad to see them doing their thing. So shout-outs to that program. And that was one thing, that's on the Barbie, if you will. So, that may be something on the horizon. Also, too, there was I have to open up the little GroupMe app thing. But shout-out to the Block Band Music GroupMe app thing that I'm a part of. They was throwing some things around, and my man Terrell Stringer, who's at Berkeley High School, posted a article about band directors making that cheese, y'all. And you're like, what are you talking about, band directors making that cheese? Most of us in this community, we thinking, we get together, we're going to basically get to this for the beauty of our craft, and no one is going to sign a Chip Kelly size contract, 5 years, $26 million. Nobody's going to get the Steve Kerr contract for being a high school band director or a middle school band director, whatever you want to call it, okay? Well, the article that Terrell posted was about band directors actually in the state of Texas that actually make over $100K per year. Okay? I is not lying. $100K. They were listing some more schools where the band director was making more than the actual football coach. Some listed $104K, some were listing $92K, $96K, and I think one was $80K. But I was like, yo, you making 60 plus in the South. Yo, you getting there, brother. You on that way past 60K in the South for the standard of living. That's actually really, really good. So to hear that someone is actually laying it down like that to be a band director in our craft, I thought it was an interesting article. Another guy I know that was talking about, a lot of the fees there in Texas are the truth, too. Shout out to my little nephew, Cody, and my sister, Angie. Angie has him in the band program there, one of the schools, and I know that the band fee is well over $500. So if you guys could imagine that, if you go to your public school there in your state, and your son wants to be in the band. They're like, hey, I want to go to the marching podcast. I want to go to the marching band. You go to the school, and then they come back with like a permission slip, and they say, please put your check for $535, please, on Monday. Thank you. You'd be like, whoa, So it's real in the field. You know what I'm saying? I actually got the little link right here, and I'll post it here in the chat room if anyone wants to check that out. But I just want to throw that out there. There are opportunities to make, good money being a band director. I know some people were saying there are a lot of hoops to jump through, or not a lot of schools percentage-wise are making that. But what was interesting about this article, and this is what I hope you guys read about it, and this is what was significant to me, is that it's all funded through this organization UIL, all right? And essentially this UIL is basically, providing these contests, these competitions, so that these directors and these schools can be a part of. Well, essentially, we could actually do the same thing because we have, like, National Show Band Association. I think what is it, National High Steppers Association. We actually have some associations to actually create some type of entity like this, and of course, it increases the band director salaries. I thought that was interesting because we've been talking about Miles, we talked about A&M. We actually have seen a turnover where some of these schools and some of these programs are becoming better because of the people that they're hiring, these young scholars, if you will, who they're hiring. Well, we could actually still do the same thing with our craft, supporting something to build, I guess, what would mirror the NCAA. Of course, not all the crime and all the dirty stuff, but if National Show Band Association, if you will, became so much where they're providing certain schools these battle of the bands, and the schools are winning so much for competition, that's what starts to turn over all of what we're talking about in a main infrastructure. Then it seeps into the academic world, and then it's like, hey, we got to figure out what we do. These bowl games are costing us $25,000. We're getting $50,000 for this stuff. That's where it starts. That's where it builds. So that was another part why I thought the article was so important. And shout out to the brother. I did kind of snap at him on the group me thing because he was like, why you want to talk about this? I'm like, well, brother, what hello? Like, do you know who but guess he was just basically saying through his experiences and stuff like that, it's not as golden as what the article is trying to paint the picture. And I'm sure everybody understands that. But the fact that it's real is what I was actually trying to focus on. There's actually some good living in what we're doing, becoming a band director or turning around and trying to change the world through music education. It's actually beneficial. But you actually now have an entity that actually then feeds the academic institution, just like what you see in amateur athletics through the NCAA, through what we know, National Show Band Association. We then build that, and our schools are showing up, JW North High School or Whitehaven High School in, Memphis, they going to get, their school $100,000 this year for winning the competition. So it's possible, y'all. I'm just throwing that out there. I think that was all the throwing out there that I had. I see Chris Jones. I think Chris Jones has something else to do. But I'll go ahead and wrap up the show here towards the end. I'll play one more here of our commercial break just to kind of smooth things out. We were off schedule a little bit tonight, but thanks for all the callers that actually called in. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or a patron to the Marching Podcast, please contact the show. We'll give you the criteria so we can start to pub your business using our platform. We'll play your commercial, show your icon during the broadcast. We'll post your website on our blog, and we'll help send out information through social media. So contact us so we can help build your business, okay? Another thing I want to put out there on YouTube, I almost forgot. And let me look. And this is how I guess I can end the show. This was the first time we got tonight. We got so many first times today. We got bombed on the air. And also, this is the first time we looked on the internet looking at band tapes and someone brought up the Marching Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Just like somebody watching YouTube about Cam Newton and someone start complaining about Stephen A. Smith. But this was good stuff. I was crunk. Let me see here. One Hayes Austin. I'm not sure who that is, but Hayes Austin, whoever that is, shout out to you and really appreciate the love. But basically, I was watching Garrett's video of the 5th for Southern and Prairie View this weekend. And you know how you scroll down to the bottom to see the comments. And it's safe to do it with band videos. You don't want to read like political articles or like stuff like that. You don't want to read nothing like that or no stuff and then scroll down to the bottom of those comments. Don't even do it. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll it'll take you there. But here, you scroll down and you hear some good criticism here and there. But one Hayes Austin is talking to a guy and he says, "I see you came in on the other video, which is understandable. I get it from everywhere." I think Image Live or someone, they said if you watch Zimballistic's video, you get a whole new perspective of Prairie View. And they didn't think Garrett's video did him justice. And then, of course, he said he thought Prairie View sounded better and their song choice and their arrangements was incredible, Well, Hayes Austin, whoever you are, responded. He's like, I get that from everyone. It's not like that at all. He says, I actually call into the Marching Podcast every weekend to give info on the matchups weekly. So anything I say is just observations. And then everyone on the show talk it out and give insights on things each HBCU band needs to work on or whatever. Now, I don't know who this is. Now, it may be someone I know, but I was crunk because this is the first time I'm seeing somebody talking about the show like in reference on the internet, so to speak. Mark D. responded. He said, "Yo, G." He didn't say Yo, G. He said, "Hey, Austin, how can I listen to the Marching Podcast?" Austin then gave him the link to our Blog Talk Radio page. Said they got a Facebook page and a website. It's Marching Podcast. You can go there. It's really good. It gives you a different insight on how bands sound from the mouths of people that actually know about music. So, of course, they talk about a little bit about me, more about Christian Rashad. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's crunk. So then, of course, I'm like, yo, man, thanks for the support. Give you the shout-out today, blah, blah, blah. Dude said you welcome. He said he enjoys the show, loves the different opinion. And then Mark D said, thanks, man. He'll be tuning in tonight. So Mark D and Hayes Austin, we appreciate the love and support. And again, this love and support then manufactures into the schools because we're going to start posting the actual school links on each one of the things so that we can actually get a little bit more of a representation, a little bit more likes for each one of our universities that we talk about every week. All right? So, man, that looks like it's about all I have on the show tonight. I can start this exit music. I'm already looking over the clock. It's already 6:44. It's a trip how this thing can still roll into 2 hours, man. I still, like, when we first started, it was a 30-minute show. It was an hour show. But thank the Lord for A&M. Thank the Lord for all the folks. John Lennard for actually calling in tonight, having some really good things to say. Really good show tonight, I really always think. Shout out to Christy and Rashad. I think Rashad will be back next week. Has some things to take care of this weekend. I know the Adrian Carroll Battle of the Bands this weekend, but I don't know if we had anybody out there. Shout out to Christy. Talked to her. She said she'll be back in a couple weeks. Be on for the rest of the season. Not that many seasons left. It's like maybe 5 or 4 weeks left. We're getting to the end, and we appreciate all the love and support. And anything you guys need, hit us up, because you know who we are here for. The haters out there who want to take us down. Boy, I'm telling you, man, that's when you know you're getting somewhere, man. Shout out to my man John. I actually talked to him this weekend about his shirts. Lift Heavy. You guys go check out some of his shirts. Simply Dope Creative. I know he did our logos, and we'll get some more representation here. All these entrepreneurs out here, we're doing the right thing, okay? So like we said, if you want to become a patron or a sponsor, just let us know, and we will help your business using our platform. That's all the time we have for tonight. Check out the website and donate what's in your heart to themarchingpodcast.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Thanks to you for listening. And remember, the lectures you deliver may be very fine and true, but I rather get my lessons by observing what's new. See you next time.